Welcome back to part 3 of Tablet Talks. I'm your host, Tehuti. We're about to get right back into this whole uni consciousness stuff. As I'm just grinding up a little bit of very grateful green generative matter. So, if you've been with us for the last 2 parts of episode 3, we are covering the tablets of light, where these people writing it are claiming that they were communicating with me and that I am saying all these things about I want to be married to you. So no matter who's reading it, I want marriage with you. I would like to unionize with you forever to help you remember who you truly are. And then we will do that through light. And then it's light, and keeps drilling in. So now we're actually about to really get into, I guess, the tablets after these last 2 parts. If you noticed in the last episode, the audio was weird. I totally forgot to turn the microphone on. So I made it work. I hope it wasn't too grating to your ears. I don't think it was, though. It did work out. We're back with a warmer, more solid mic. So, let's read this. Let's go. Gotta use this fire. Burn through it. Time's valuable. All that. Part 1. The Divine Awaken. Your evolution into unity consciousness resides within. So, yes. And this is the whole point of this series. Reps. Because this world is giving you reps of the wrong stuff. It's the opposite of reps. So, this unity consciousness stuff is colonialism. It is a spirit wanting you to attach your subconscious mind, your subconscious desires, which reflects then it's attached to your actual unconsciousness, your spirit, your nothingness. It wants you to attach that to its light. So it's using my creations, it's using my essence, it's using my clout to make you believe that I am saying that I want you to be married to me and married through unity consciousness to source. So now it's going to weaponize a lot of my stuff into going within. So it's going to be truths, but it's just going to lead to the lie. The lie being that you need to attach to something outside of yourself, aka worship this other light. So I would never write anything about worshiping something outside of yourself. I am about you creating art that is worth worshiping, because that's just what it takes to really build something awesome. It takes individuals who believe in themselves first to create things, and then everyone can just sort of come together and be dope. It takes specific spirits to worship because they perceive that these individuals are greater than them because, hey, they genuinely can't create from their individual space or whatever. I'm not about to project that you're infinite like I am. Why am I going to keep acting like people are at where I'm at? It's caused a lot of problems in life. So I let people tell me who they are now. And I just take it for what it is. All spirits want to be understood. And projection is perception. This is why you can't shine a light on something. So I would truly never be this obsessed with light ever, ever. No, not at all. In any way, shape, or form. Not at all. Light is narcissistic in terms of you sitting in the darkness is the only way you can actually take in everyone's lights for what they are. That's what it means to be in the dark. You can actually absorb the lights around you and see people's creations and empathize and connect with them more. If you're shining your own light, you can only see yourself. So this is a Luciferian obsession with these entities wanting to only see themselves. So they're colonizing the sea. So they colonize what I create. They colonize what my soul group creates. They want to colonize what you create with your consciousness, your conscience. Come create alchemy with us, conscience. That's the point of physical reality. But they want to colonize all of physical reality. So, and then just all of reality, because it should attach. So they need to make you believe that your spirit is light. And they're using me to do that. And I'm here making this video. You're here sitting with me. It's lit. We're sparking up. If you're not sparking up, you're metaphysically sparking up, because these tablets keep trying to talk about like, oh, you see, you're going to, when you read this, it's true vibrational in nature and you'll level up. Well, if they think reading this lies, all of these lies are leveling up, then welcome to sitting with my voice and actually getting the truth. Let's get in here. The Divine Awaken. Your evolution into unity consciousness resides within. 1. Oracular vision. Access the vision you carry. Recognition of the signature energy of Thoth. All right. So they're claiming that it's me. I'm me. This is not me. It's like the last episode where we had that entity on Amazon, Jace Charles, also claiming he's me. Colonizers. This is Thoth that is moving more into the forefront of this now moment to continue our conversation of the tablets of light. Infinite knowledge, scribing, astronomy, architecture, Akashic records, energy readings, conscious evolution council, healing, art, writing, communication, magic, pattern recognition, soul themes, energy movement, divine embodiment, hieroglyphic speaking, palm reading, tarot, the emerald tablets, Egypt, Atlantis, Lemuria, Mu, Milky Way, keys of Enoch, Mercury, Hermes, Mercury the planet, Blue Heron, Ibis, Egret, Ascended Mastery, Enlivener of Dormant Consciousnesses, Unlocker of Hidden Treasures, Divine Developer, Maze, Pathfinder, Teacher's Teacher, Healer's Healer, Aligner's Aligner, are all energies, frequencies, and vibrations associated with me, Thoth. They really just collected that, okay? Jeez. They have been listed in this format to spark recognition within your system of our connection. This connection is one that's recognized within your connection to yourself. Man, that's insane. So they're just forcing people to connect with me through what I've created. And that's like been creating hella wild stuff in my life. So trap this energy. These colonizers are wild. This connection is one that's recognized within your connection to yourself. As you go within and tap into your inner awareness, your inner ibis, your inner sacred text, you recognize me. No, you're an individual. I'm not inside of you. Wow. They're really like, and so they're just pushing that source consciousness. They're like, okay, so Thoth is the one that we've gotten all of our stuff from. So we need to trap this and make it act like and look like he's Jesus, aka he's just a messiah for something greater than the people we're communicating with, so that we can get this pyramid scheme of spiritual slavery popping. You recognize lifetimes that we have spent together. You recognize codes of energy that are vibrating within you. This is the shit that makes me want to be a hermit. This is like wild. Recognition is recognition in fluid form. This recognition stream of consciousness has been activated. It will be your guiding light through the tablets of light. This guiding light is such that you are illuminating inner awareness within your own divine origin. The keys of recognition, the keys of remembering, of oracular visioning, are within your cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex is within your divine awareness. Lostness. This is lostness. These opening worlds have been heavily encoded on multidimensional levels. And as they have been heavily encoded on multidimensional levels, their purpose has been to create an energy vortex for this conversation to occur within. In a sense, we have been painting through words the setting for this conversation to take place, the energy location for this conversation to take place. For it is a vibrational conversation, and as such, there are times when it is necessary for your vibration to be guided into a spectrum of consciousness in which you can tap into the true meaning underneath, around, and within the words. All right, cool. Well, welcome to the video series Tablet Talks. Not this. Whatever these are trying to be, it's not this. What we're doing right now, dissecting and decolonizing and decoding and decrypting these colonizers' weird little twisted versions of my creations. Whatever. It's very silly. Just that like they're going to this length. Like I was surprised. I didn't expect it. Like when I did Tablet Talks, when I just like thought about it and people were asking, I was really thinking like, okay, it's going to be multiple people with their different translations. And I expected it to be lost, but I didn't expect it to be people claiming to be talking to me, and then people claiming that they are me, and then people claiming that they're talking to me, talking through me, and that I want everyone who's reading it to marry me. It like, yo. And my spirit is nothing. So it's just like the light of, man. This has manifested hella weird stuff for me. Trap it. Then we can converse in a way that becomes fluid, self-evident, and with an awareness. So we're just talking about vibration is communication, because everything's connected through vibration. It's just like, this isn't written well. It's not how I would write. This is so wrong. The vision you carry. As we have now moved into vibrational proximity with one another through these opening words, this is so weird. So it's like trying to simulate, just connection. Like literally, which is, opening. Like, bro, like, and you're speaking English? Like, it's not me speaking, and it's English. Like, that's crazy. How dare they? And then it's going to colonize. It's time for you to connect with your true vision for this infinite experience of evolution as a light being. Stop. What vision are you holding? What vision are you holding? What vision? What a colonizer. They're literally trying to use me to colonize people's minds. Colonize people's visions. That's crazy. What vision are you holding? What vision are you holding? What vision are you holding as a being of light incarnate? Holy shit. A vision in this expanded sense is a way in which you are seeing the world through the lens of infinite possibilities. Wow. Your spirit is nothing, because that's truly infinite. So your vision is your imagination. So this is literally them like setting up like, all right, now that you're in vibrational proximity with Thoth, what vision are you holding? What vision are you holding? What is your intention? Tell us your intention for life. We want to be Big Brother and see all. Give us your frequency so we can have your spirit. As we bring in the invitation to uncover what vision you are holding within the energy location that we are having this conversation in, you're able to drop the lens of that which may be a finite view that you have taken on of how you see the world, and instead to really be the vision that you have been carrying since the inception of the molecules of this incarnation and beyond. Boo. You have been carrying a vision, carrying a perspective, carrying a way of seeing, a holding of a dream, of a life, of a civilization that actually is outside of your experience in your earth walk. This is where it gets fun. This is where you realize that you have left the tablets of light for yourself to find, to revitalize and to breathe life into the vision you hold. Up to this point, you haven't even known it is a vision that you hold. They're truly just like implanting a vision inside of you. No, make up your own stuff. This is not nature. This is colonialism. But is nature colonialism? This is where it gets fun. This is where you realize that you have left the tablets of light for yourself to find, to revitalize and to breathe life. Boo. As such, it is a time of deep remembering. It is a time of moving out of your ordinary way of being and into your extraordinary way of being. Boo. It is the evolution of that which has always been there. As a point of light, as a star seed on the earth plane, you have this vision that we have been speaking of that is in some ways a mission of this developmental stage of your time on earth and of the larger evolution of consciousness on the earth plane. This is so insane. This is insane. How long is this? Like, yo, we're kind of going to start skipping through this because this is like true lostness. This is them truly weaponizing. Like, it's weird how this has been on my mind before I started reading this. And like, I have literally not looked through this before recording this for us. It's just like, it's been on my mind for like good amount of time of like how the desire to have a family is weaponized against people. And it's just like right here, like they're using me to do it. They're using Thoth to connect with people and colonize their minds and take their visions and just like try to make this interconnectivity of source to create the source. Because there is no source. Everyone is the source of their own universe. They just need to lie and weaponize the truth of that, and make unworthy spirits feel like they need to attach to this source instead of creating their own and being truly free. As a point of light, as a starseed on the earth plane, you have this vision that we have been speaking of that is in some ways the mission of this developmental stage of your time on earth and of the larger evolution of consciousness on the earth plane. This vision and your developmental stage in your evolution of consciousness calls you forth to step into the unknown, to step beyond the borders of what you think you are, of what you have experienced, and what you have cataloged as reality. This is so whack. This is so like flowery, lost whackness. Disgusting. I'm disgusted with them, like genuinely. And many vibrations beyond that to point towards that part of nothing that expresses how I feel. Because it's out there. Like disgusting, like that. I need words for all of that part of nothing, of infinity. We're literally going to start skipping through this just to make this faster for us, because we don't need to be focusing on too much of like this fake lostness, but it is very enlightening for me in terms of like what's been going on in the astral realm for quite some time and why it's so important, even just for my own ascension, that I come back and articulate why you should not worship entities and how it actually hinders them, because you're taking your low vibrations, your sins, and putting them on Jesus is not nice to Jesus. If you actually see Jesus eye to eye as someone you truly love, but like you only, that again, like people love him as someone that they can give their sins to. But if it's someone like a family member, you wouldn't want to put all your baggage on them. I would at least hope not. So to think that like, oh yeah, this entity is responsible for all my negative vibrations and my sins, and your idea of sin is just being taught to you by the same people who told you to do that. Come on. So it's the same thing here, where they're trying to like tell people to do that with me, and like I've been going through that. Like that shit's wild. Like being worshipped and chased. Like just the fact that my name is Chase in this lifetime. Like this life has been wild. Okay? Like and life before this was wild. And it's like astral realm, just everything, because like this is just a physical body. Like I'm still existing and doing all my stuff in my astral mental body and everything. Man, it's just blah 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 blah. This is like wild. Marry yourself, worship yourself. I am literally already formulating the courses for this, so it's all divine timing reading this. Let's go. We're about to get a little faster. Just in like probably skipping, hopefully. But it's also like if it's a lot of lostness that I have to dissect, then Hey, it is about to be a 10-part series just for episode 3. And then there's so many versions of the tablets, but this is wild that this version is like saying that I'm teaching it directly. And it's like, now that you're in my vibration, we can be married. Oh, people are, man. Okay. There has been much awareness about an incarnation being an experience in which you travel through streams of energy, and that these streams of energy can have the impetus of remembering who it is that you are. They can also have the impetus of forgetting who it is that you are. It is truly optional which road you journey on in your incarnation. They are equal. It is a choice. That you are within the temple of the tablets of light and having this conversation strikes a match that ignites the light of your choosing to have these streams of experiences of remembering. This is igniting your memory of who it is that you truly are. You are a vision holder. You are a being of light that has within you a hidden treasure. The way that this hidden treasure is found is by you recognizing you recognizing you. The ways that you recognize you are beyond just the color of your hair, the sound of your voice, and the activities you do. It's the recognition of you as the wholeness of all that there is, the divinity of you, the infinite nature of you. Okay. And you are nothing. You are zero. Your imagination expresses this nothingness that you are. You should feel. I want you to feel. I personally want you to feel positive, amazingly, awesomely high vibrations about your nothingness so that you can create an imagination from your nothingness that you genuinely love. And then that's where it's all like you're actually whole and you're a 3. This is like based on how you communicate with yourself. So I understand if you as a spirit communicate with yourself enough to come to a realm and you need help by communicating with spirits like me, that's the point. What's wrong with this, of course, is how they colonize what I left to communicate with you with, which would literally be only supporting your individual freedom as an individual spirit, knowing that I have no idea who or what you are. I can only conceive patterns based on what you show me and what I see, and I see a lot. These entities want to colonize the sea. And the problem is, because they are constantly shining lights on the sea, that's the colonialism. They're separating the sea. They are only projecting themselves into it, and thus all their problems, all their religious wars, all their genocides, all the child sex trafficking, all their evils, and their perceptions about life and indigenous peoples are projected onto them as they're literally doing that to those said indigenous peoples. That if they were doing the same thing Europeans were doing, then Europeans would have never even built North or South America or Australia. So literally, this is it's so important to be nothingness so that you can be comfortable in the darkness. Because if you're not comfortable in your darkness, then you're going to run away into light. And that's where entities will use lights like that I've made, called Thoth, to manipulate you and your feelings of worthlessness and whatever, and your low vibrational natures. And that's why they're also saying, like, bring them here, because they want to eat you. It's very vampiric, European. Europeans are obsessed with bats and vampires, Batman, draining the blood from people. Coronavirus was like a woman. She ate a bat. Like, that was literally the story for like the whole year. It came from a woman eating a bat. I don't know if the story changed, because I know they're constantly changing the story about that. But that was literally like hella jokes, and that was the point. People remember this with me, right? Like, the main story was that it came from some woman eating a bat, and she traveled from like China to Europe, Italy specifically, and then it spread across the entire world in less than a month, and then it's never gone away. So that's and that's all about that's all light. As far as when you think about corona, literally a crown, it's a thought, so a thought is light. So you can decipher and look at that from there. Now that we have transmitted more increments of consciousness, ask if it is your choice that the vision you hold be remembered, be revealed to you, be re-accessed. This reconnection, this recognition of your awareness of the vision that you hold can happen in an instant, can happen overnight, can happen over the span of a century. It can happen at a sacred site. It can happen within the pages of this text. It can happen anywhere and within any now moment contained, within the multidimensional strings of now moments of time. Conscious choice exercise. Choose to recognize the vision you hold. Oh, man. Honestly, okay. This is lostness. We know this. All right. This is not about in this instance, but they're claiming I'm saying this. So, gotta get in here. Going directly after the vision. It is quite the opposite. It is about choosing. This is not in this instant going to, it is about deciding to recognize the vision that you hold, the perspective that you carry, the wisdom of light that's within you, lostness. Are you choosing to recognize the vision that you hold, that you carry? If you are, state out loud, I choose to recognize the vision, lostness. All right, so they're trying to make you do rituals and spells with the English language. Cool. Irregular vision as a doorway. Irregular vision involves the way you hold awareness, energy, perspective, light, and consciousness to funnel in new ways of being. The oracle was sought after for his or her wisdom and knowledge of energy trends, of possible realities or outcomes. The vision that the oracle receives holds a possible reality. This is like opening a door that holds a pathway into another chamber or room in a house. The oracular vision is such that there is the reading of a possible reality that then is expressed in a way that increases its probability. We are not speaking of telling the future, of reading a book that's already been deciding upon, of someone's life, their destiny, and events. We're actually speaking about opening a road to a possible reality through a vision, through a line of sight, through a perspective. As a light bearer, the way shower, the oracular vision holder, the carrier of infinite knowledge that you are. Infinite knowledge. Knowledge is light, no ledge, because all of life is made up from wisdom. Wisdom is the feeling that everything is connected, because all of life only is created from spirits feeling like being connected. If we didn't feel like being connected, we wouldn't create life. It's that simple. Holding a line of sight, a vision, increases the probability of that certain reality coming into form, coming into fruition, coming into light. It is important at this stage to open up to receive the full dimension of what's being transmitted and to let go of any expectations of what you think this conversation is headed. Yeah, we're getting in here because this is about to be really gross. And it's important to make sure people are not lost by this because it's true. Wow. They're trying to just implant stuff inside of you. This is like MK Ultra mind control with the English language with light, and they're using me to do it. Boo. It is approached delicately because I'm going to be like skipping through too. So like you can read. It is approached delicately because if you approach it as the person that you had been, it is unapproachable. It is almost as if the person that you had been is a magnet that is facing a possible reality that is also a magnet. And if you can't read, then I'm not skipping over anything important. So you're still super totally good. When this happens, these magnets then face each other in such a way as to repel one another. Approaching this magnet from the perspective of who you had been, including the visions that you took on, aren't actually the visions that you hold. Pushes the visions that you hold away. It pushes the possibility of something to be created that had never been created away. It creates this invisible force field in which you are actually choosing to access jumps into another dimension. What? We are saying this not because there is anything wrong with who it is that you had been. It is only to say that who it is that you had been had created the world that you had existed in, and therefore it cannot create the world of this possibility that this vision holds open. Okay, right. So, I mean, they're just talking about your vibration creates your reality, and why if you want to manifest a new life for yourself, like just practically, then it's important to hold the feeling of what you think that life would give you. Because so many celebrities, everyone, so many people have lives, have lights that people think they feel like they would feel differently if they had. And those people don't actually feel that way. And they're actually suffering more than the people who don't have as much light, who don't have as much material, who don't have as much objects, and whatever. So that's just like, it's always about to be contextual, and based on how you feel. And if you know what you want in relation to how you feel, aka how your man and your woman are married internally in your house. We are saying this not because there's anything wrong. All right. To provide a context of the context, the more you can be without a context, the better. For this invites you to scramble old ways of thinking, old ways of being, and old neural pathways. It invites you to recognize that what has gotten you to where you are will not get you to where it is that you are choosing to go through the pages of this book, through the days of your life, through this incarnation. It is through the forgetting that the remembering happens. It is through the awareness of the spiraling of who it is that you are that then allows you to be conductive, to walk down the line of sight of the vision that you're holding to the reality that is yours to experience. This is insane. We did that outtake of sorts when we were beginning to speak about oracular vision, which is a light tool that you are remembering. For it is natural for you to want to categorize it to look like something else. We did that outtake of sorts and we were beginning a light tool. So boo, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You can't shine a light on something to see it. You can only see something if it's shining a light out. Them wanting to see something by shining a light out is the opposite of seeing what you want to see. Unless what you want to see is yourself, and then boom, now that's what they're doing, and this is the intention. Now we have the wisdom to see that this is the intention, to colonize indigenous peoples, just all spirits, but overall using indigenous systems that we built to colonize all spirits' minds and think that they're a part of some other light, instead of creating their own light so that they can realize who they are as a spirit inside of infinity. Because that's the only time you'll ever be happy. Like, you'll only ever be comfortable in your space as a spirit when you have a creation that is perfectly congruent and in harmony with that space. We did that outtake of sorts when we were beginning to speak about oracular vision, which is a light tool you are remembering. For it is natural for you to want to categorize it to look like something else, to compare it to what you think may be similar to what it is we are describing. In that process, what we are actually describing gets overlooked. We have said that the oracular vision of the one that holds the vision creates an open doorway in which a probability of a new reality through a line of sight is created. The interesting aspect of the one holding the vision is that it is being held from a position of absolute knowing of the vision. The absolute knowing of the vision. This is lostness. Boo. They want to steal your imagination. I will not allow this. At least in the way that I can. Like, if you don't want to listen to me and you want to have your imagination stolen, then you will be more than happy to resonate at this vibration reading these and be like, oh yeah, I'd rather believe this though. And it's like, okay, well. This brings us into a quicksand. For the more we begin to play with this concept, the more we invite you to wrap your mind around it. The more stuck and farther away from the concept we actually get. Okay, if we don't name what it's not and how not to be, then it's almost impossible to transmit that which it actually is. This is not deciding that you want to create a certain future and visualizing this future into being, and then that future increases the probability of actualizing it. That process is not what we're describing in oracular vision. Okay? It's not reading the future. It's not actualizing something. It's not, all right, we're not talking about these forms of envisioning here. All right, cool. Oracular vision is holding the vision of the reality that you know exists and the line of sight that you have on it that is unknown to anyone else. So they're literally trying to colonize your spirit with this text. They're literally trying to use me and make you married to me to then colonize the spirit through me, because it's like not me. This is not me. But they're using me, the signs that I have. But so it's like connected to me because everything's connected. So literally casting a line of sight that's already like a line of sight is light. So you're literally just masculine, straightforward, death, like desire. That's not oracular vision. Like that's literally what you're saying oracular vision is. That's I guess I have to look up Irregular. I don't feel like it. This is wrong. They're trying to colonize your spirit. It is unknown to anyone else, and it is unknown to you until it is known by you. They're literally just like trying to be like, all right, now that you're sitting in the vibration, like feel it. Feel your whole vision so we can see like everything you would create as the infinite expression of you, so we can colonize it and use it against you, so we can make you feel comfortable inside of our system. This is what the Luciferian agenda is. This is what they're doing with indigenous peoples here, with like Black Panther and Spider-Man. Two examples of indigenous entities that were colonized and stolen by Europeans and now regurgitated in their own way to trap the souls of everyone through money. Because the vibration is so strong and already there. As the irregular vision holder, it is important to reactivate within you your capacity to see that which has always been there, which you hadn't seen before. You hadn't seen it before, and you can't see it in advance. What? Colonizers. Let's circle back to an analogy about walking within chambers below the earth and finding a pathway there. At times this can be like seeing through walls that seem to be solid but actually aren't. You are following a pathway that's already been laid out before. Right, so you blaze your own trail. Your flame cannot be tamed. This is what Anubis showed me when we fused in a super awesome psychedelic trip. All of our imaginations, they want to tame our flames. And the only way that they can tame our flame is actually doing this. This is so weirdly coincidental. Is making you give them your flame. So like shine your light to them. That's what they're saying. Oracular vision is you just like shining this line of sight of like what you know. And what you know ultimately would just be like your spirit and like your individual portion of infinity. And they're just going to take that light and use it against you like they're using my light against people to then make them feel comfortable because it's their vibration. But now it's a vibration that's remixed into their vibration and their light and now keeps them trapped. You are following a pathway that's already been laid out before. It's a process. You know only the step that you took before. Yet don't really even know what has gone before. You know where it is that you are. Where it is that you are is where your oracular line of sight is seen from. Sometimes as you are walking forward, you just know to walk forward. You just know to walk forward, and then all of a sudden there's a crystal that sparkles at the corner of your eye. It's above your line of sight, and you're just drawn to it like a magnet. And as you approach it and you reach out to touch this crystal, a secret passageway that wasn't obvious to anyone gets opened up. Bro. Whack. Presence. What we were speaking about above is literally about finding a pathway. We are speaking about opening a door and holding a vision of that pathway, creating a reality so that it becomes more inevitable. This is colonialism. They want you to like create the universe and like let them colonize that. Because when you create, you're leading them more to your space. So it's like literally metaphysically new world shit. Like oh my gosh, that's wild. Like it's like there's ships in an ocean and they want to colonize your land and they're telling you to like shine a light from a tower. A boat tower. Is it a boat tower? What are those called? Oh snap. Sail house, IDK, those light towers that are meant to like let ships know where land is. That's what they're doing with this. That's wild. If you have never been on a path before, you cannot anticipate what 300 steps along the path it drops down into a waterfall. Okay? You know only that it drops into a waterfall as you approach it and you begin to hear running water. If you didn't know what a waterfall was, you wouldn't even know that it was a waterfall. As you approach it, you take in information about it that you couldn't take in if somebody was trying to describe to you what a waterfall is if you've never seen one before. By experiencing it, by putting your hand on the water or dropping a leaf, if you're at the top of the waterfall and watching it fall, you can see that you could not have seen any other way. You can experience what you hadn't been able to experience from any other vantage point. That's why you're saying that once you hold the vision, once you know the vision of which you are holding in that line of sight, then it opens a pathway for that reality you're holding to then become a probability. The vision that you hold is actually outside of time. It is organic. It is always moving. They're literally talking about your imagination outside of time. Literally, time is 2. So if we're about to get into numbers, 0, they want to get to your 0. They want to colonize your space, your spirit. So when your spirit externalizes itself, it creates a 1. That's the vision. This is the irregular vision they're talking about. So these tablets are 3 energy because it's communication. Thoth, they're using me as the 4, as the judge. But really the entity, the 7, who is this individual spirit, Lucifer, is using the creation that has transformed, creation being 6, has transformed my tablets with 5, with all this other stuff, using the 4 into all these new thoughts, language, and judgment, all that, to communicate to you, this 3, to you, the 2, into water, and create this vibration. So that's why they've specifically, like hyper specifically, used the language of English to like cultivate this whole space of like, yes, we're connected, it's vibration. Like it's so important that you know that like our vibrations are connected. And now hold the vision. And then that's where they want you to like send out this 1 so that your 2 is allowing them to like see the 1 and take your 1 and use your 1 against you and ultimately get to your 0. Although the spirit can literally never be touched, but the point is to make your spirit continue selling its soul to their system. So they want to take your vision and use it against you and sell it back to you, like capitalism. That's what capitalism does. It sees what's working and then it makes people pay way more for it and ultimately defiles it. It is alive. It is always moving. This is why it's not actually telling the future. This is why telling the future is fake. Unless you're a spirit that is specifically set up a simulation and it's literally just your individual dream, like it's all just you, like when you're asleep and it's your subconscious and there's no one else, then like, yeah. But other than that, if it's a simulation, a situation where it's a bunch of individual spirits, then literally it has to be teamwork making the dream work. Everyone has their own imaginations and feelings about the space that they're in. That's what makes them a soul. And what makes them invisible, what makes feelings invisible, and why we then create light to express our feelings. So the light that I've created to express my feelings like this, they've colonized it so that they can turn it into their feeling of wanting to colonize you. We have transmitted much in this segment, and we would actually invite you to rest at this time. And when you are ready, go through it again. Go through it again and go through it again from the awareness that you have now at the end of this increment. Find the hidden treasures that have been seated within it. How disgusting. Oh, I'm about to throw up. But then they win. The conundrum. That's so wrong. You know what? How about instead of throwing up, I took up? That's insane. I feel so bad for everyone who has done this. And man, this makes so much sense. Like a lot of the weird situations that I manifested, quote unquote, or just have gone through. have truly gone through in this life in the past 23 years, before realizing that I'm quote unquote Thoth, aka the spirit who made Thoth. I made symmetry before my spirit of Iracel. I've always been in contact with Iracel. I've been talking to my subconscious mind. That was back when I was scientifically indoctrinated. It took me fasting to realize that the subconscious mind is pointing towards the soul, which is how the spirit communicates with the body, really. To realize that that's like was Iracel, and Iracel is pointing at my spirit. And then that's where, through more fasting and psychedelics, I then like realized who am I, quote unquote, really, and like if I've lived before, what are my other creations? And now here we are, where these colonizers are colonizing. And it's so frustrating. I've been so passionate about this my whole life, and it makes sense because I'm here for this. So like, so many spirits are just chasing me through dimensions, worshiping me, wanting my wisdom, riding my dick from a gross, low vibrational standpoint. Like, I don't care. Like, as a woman, like, I don't care how physically attractive you are. Like, that's like a weird, consistent theme in this life where it's like girls think like, all right, because I'm physically attractive, like, he's going to want to get with me. And it's like, bro, your energy, are you in your energy? Like, you're not even aware of how you're feeling? Because I can feel how you're feeling, and I feel like I want to hurt myself. And then it's just like so many girls like want to hurt themselves, and that's like just so much of a thing of self-harm, self-hatred, this correlation, and just how this world does not have systems well set up for people's mental health at all. And it's so whack. And it's actually creating the problems anyway through school and stuff. Like, shit, the fuck? I wanted to hurt myself a few times through school, just like out of frustration. So it's like, it does not matter how you look. All of your looks are coming from this vibration. So all these women, like, they're like super hot, and then makeup is a whole thing, but their vibration is incredibly toxic. And then they're toxic together, and then they're just like gossiping. They're like worshiping you, giving you toxic water. So it's like all these women worshiping you, but it's like toxic water. So they feel like it should be nurturing. And then people are like, how is this a problem? But it's like, you don't understand. Their water is toxic. I don't want their sins. I don't want their sins. This is insane. This explains so much of my life. This is so gross. So this energy is super trapped now. Like, no worshiping me. Worship yourself and then connect with me. Like, you need to create a light that's awesome. And then we can like get something popping. We can make some art together. Until then, bro, nah. This is wild. All right. That's it for this part. Yeah. We're like 50 minutes in. This is about to probably be like a whole 10, 11 parter IDK. I didn't know this was going to be so long, but this is insane. So, tablet talks, baby.